Welcome to Key Digital University. Today, we're going to learn all about the KD-IP922ENC and DEC. Let's take a look.
Hey everybody, welcome to Key Digital University. This is a sales training for the Enterprise AV. Key Digital's IP922 encoder and decoder. One of the most revolutionary products ever to hit Pro AV comes to you from Key Digital. Just absolutely amazing solution and a really, really big seller for us. If you have not got introduced to this product, today's your lucky day because this is the flagship of all AV over IP. It's a really amazing product. We'll kind of go step through step on what the product does, how it's going to play into systems, but I'll go over the technical mumbo jumbo with you. What's neat is, and I guess the easiest way to look at it, you have the IP922, which is the ENC, which is the encoder. So the encoder goes at each, the encoder is actually going to go at each source, right? And then you have the decoder, which the decoder is going to go at each screen. And then from there, you can start building a matrix of any size. Now keep in mind, the matrix is actually ran through a network switch. And we do have some requirements on these models based on what kind of network switch you want to use. So make sure you run this over to our systems group, which is SDG, stands for System Design Group at keydigital.com. So SDG at keydigital.com, and they'll be more than happy to help you out with designing a system. But what I want to do today is I want to share with you, what the wow factor is, where it's sold, how it's sold, and really, really neat setup for everybody. So on the 922s, so much technology. On the encoder, you have HDMI in, HDMI out. In the middle of that encoder, you have a 3-port master controller. You have audio in, audio out. You have a 2-port LAN switch already in it. So it's not just that one feeds the matrix, the other one is an open port. They both can be used, which is great for daisy chain, cascade, as well as giving you an open port. If you got 10 of these, 10 encoders at the rack as your inputs, and you ran out of ports on your LAN, on your network switch, you have extra LAN ports. You have 10 extra LAN ports that you can use. It also has USB for KVM. On the decoder side, you have two more LAN ports. One that has to go to the matrix, another one that's free for regular 10 base 100 transmission. And then you're going to have 2 USB ports for keyboard, video, mouse. You have a local HDMI output, which is going to feed from that matrix. And you have a local HDMI input, which is going to feed only for that room only. This is really nice. One of our consultant partners had mentioned for huddle rooms that this is a very valuable piece to have. So if you're doing any consultant bid work, you'll probably see this on those bids for those huddle rooms using AV over IP. It has a 3-port master controller on there as well. And what's so interesting, if you've watched videos on the CX800 or our 1080p IP solution, we've actually built a master controller into this product, which is a game changer. There's no other product that actually has a truly independent master controller for compass control or any other third-party matrix, third-party control system out there already on board. So let's just say you had 2 inputs and 2 outputs, right? If you had 2 inputs and 2 outputs, you actually have 12 discrete and controllable ports before you had to go and buy anything else, which is great. So if you're using compass control, all you have to do is add a license. If you're going to use any other third-party system, you just hook up their master controller, and you're going to get 12 IOs to do with as you see fit if you had a 2x2 configuration. So as your system grows, so does the solution. So give you a couple examples on what that pass-through does. So let's say on the encoder you have your HDMI source, right? And the encoder could be at the rack or it could be local in a zone. So we have lots of projects like you'll see case studies in our YouTube channel where we have encoders that are not at the rack traditionally. Sometimes they're in a room or in a conference room or underneath a lectern. So you have all that there. You have pass-through for a local monitor or any of your other HDMI needs. So whatever's coming in can be passed through on that, on there. And then obviously the LAN port has to go back to the network switch, which would allow for your matrix switching to happen and to be part of the system. On the decoder side, you're going to run from the network switch to one of the LAN ports, and then of course you have your local monitor, which is going to be feeding from the matrix. So if you look at the lower left-hand side of the screen, if you're watching cable or you have content coming from the laptop, it can be seen by the local monitor. But if you're in a huddle room and you want to switch to local source, you can do so really easily using Compass Control, any third-party system, or the Key Digital app as well. On the encoder, we have audio out with balance unbalanced. So you have all the audio features you can need there. So if you come in HDMI and you need to plug into an amplifier, you can do so. So whether it's the AMP220 or one of our other partner amps from any of the Compass Control partners, you can do so and have that set up. On the audio de-embedding, you do have volume control, bass, treble, balance, unbalanced. There is no format conversion, so keep in mind if you're coming in Dolby Digital, you have to run the Dolby Digital through PCM. But what you could do is on the outbound side, there's more chances are that there is a 2-channel PCM stream, and you'll be able to take that and have that come out the analog jacks that are on there. So quick overview and example of what that looks like. So again, here's your decoder. We have a port coming from our network switch into the LAN port, and then from there your audio can go into an AMP220 and then have that connect to the speakers in the room, which is great. On the encoder, you have USB and decoder USB, so you can do KVM, which is great. So you can actually use this as a hub, and then you can run KVM through your AV over IP system on there. And the other cool thing, as we move on with the 922s, is the video wall processing that we have. The video wall processing is really amazing because with video walls, if you look at some of our YouTube videos and you look at our case studies, all of our LinkedIn pages, there's tons and tons of video walls that we've been able to help integrators like you with that sometimes we're way out of budget. With our product, as you can see in some of these examples that we're going to share with you, with our product, you can use any screen on the market, any HDMI screen. The thinner the bezel, the better, and you can create a video wall of any size, which is really cool. So all you'll do is you'll give each source an encoder, each screen a decoder. You're not going to need a server, a computer, another third-party box. All the horsepower, all the technology is built into the encoders and the decoders, and then you're going to be able to do it. You could do up to a 10x10 video wall, so 100 screens. The other cool thing is when you look at the management and the control, you can even go in and configure your video wall. You could position it. You could do bezel adjustment. You could also adjust the screen and frame. Even if you have small video walls like a 2x2 and you happen to be using asymmetrical screens, you can actually on the top screens flip them so that way all the intersecting lines are matching, which is great. So just giving you the best results possible. On the LAN ports, obviously they will carry. You'll notice on both models that we do have a power port on there, but they are available for PoE, so no additional power supply or PoE injector. Just use one of our recommended PoE switches, and you're going to be good to go. On there, less than 15 watts of power. And again, in the technical training, for your installers and your programmers, we really dig deep into the technology and exactly how to set them all up. But really for sales training, we want to make sure that that you basically have the industry's equivalent to a Ferrari, an AV over IP, but it comes in at Toyota pricing. So you're able to go in and just sell an amazing 1G solution that has everything you're going to possibly need for AV over IP. With that, the multifunction ports, as I mentioned before, act as a gateway to third-party control. With compass control, they act as 3 individual ports that could be IR232. And we do build this product with an open API. So any control system on the market you want to use it with, you can. And we are right now in the process of working with third-party driver creators to make full-fledged drivers for third-party systems. But even if the formal driver is not ready, you basically can take the code sets you've been using for your key digital matrix switchers over the years and modify them for AV over IP, have your third-party controller talk to one of the host units, and be able to communicate to the entire system, which is really cool. Another neat feature that we have on here on the encoder is a way to set EDID, so that way you can actually take care of all your HDMI management. And as you can see, we have so many different options for EDID control. And this comes up sometimes in a sales conversation, because you may have a client or a customer or a design that you're working on where there's some legacy product, right? Maybe there's some 4K and some 1080p and everything in between. And the cool thing about the AV over IP solution from us is our enterprise AV solution can take care of 4K and 1080p, whether it's source or display, forwards and backwards compatible, all within the setup. So you have downscaling for the decoders, and you can also make sure that they all work together. And one of my favorite things to demo, because AV over IP is still just getting started, believe it or not. Even though it's really cannibalized sales in a big way, we're just scratching the surface with this technology. And we have some great YouTube videos that kind of take you through the next few sections of the training we're doing now that are just a little bit more detailed. But I strongly encourage you to download on your iPad or your iPhone the Key Digital app. It is an amazing sales tool. On this sales tool, you could really help paint a picture for your customer where they can actually see the value of having a full matrix, right? Like, think about before you had tools like this, you were selling off of a design, right? You were selling off a piece of paper, and you were trying to help them visualize how they can have 8 computers and 40 screens and get any computer to any screen. But seeing is believing, and the app and the demo that we have is just really fantastic, where you can actually go in when you're using AV over IP in the Key Digital app. You can go and hit the live feed button and actually see a snapshot of what's on every input, every output. You can also have basic video wall control, which is awesome with a drag and drop, experience. So if you look at the right-hand side of your iPad, once you download this, you're going to go to 4K IP switch demo, and then you could select video wall that's on there. And there's actually 2 video walls in the demo. The first one is Cafe video wall, 5 through 8, so that's screens 5 through 8. And then there's a larger one which says Concourse, which is screens 9 through 24. Here for this demo, we're showing screens 9 through 24. And the cool thing, as you've been watching the video, you'll see that you can color code all the inputs and color code all the outputs. And you can make it super easy for your customer to be able to use this system and integrate within the project. So let's say you have a signage player that's orange. That's that orange box, right? And green is going to be your info arrivals. This happens to be a demo of an airport. You can take your signage computer for arrivals for that airport, and you can put it on that huge video wall and make a little 2x2 screen. Same thing for the sign cafe, and then departures, and then mixing things up. So definitely have a chance to work with it. Make your own pitch, make your own demo, and then put it on a customer's iPad. Let them experience what it's like to work with just a really fantastic product. So the Enterprise AV system, 4K, 1G, it's a matrix switch, it's a control system, a video wall processor, everything you need for today's advanced audio video over IP. And the other great thing is you do not need to be a super high-end network engineer in order to make this stuff work. You're not setting up VLANs and going through really complex network switch setups. We've made it as simple as possible. So check out Key Digital University on the technical tab. And on the technical tab, you look underneath the hood, learn how to make these products work. Get your technicians, your programmers involved with that. And on the sales side, if you need help with system design or getting AV over IP spec'd in your next project, please reach out to the System Design Group, SDG, at keydigital.com, and we'd be more than happy to help you out on your next project and show you around on how AV over IP really is the future. So thanks for checking out the video. Check out keydigital.com, and if you have any questions, reach out. Have a great day and enjoy your next video.